Tonight, we give you an update on the fate of the Daily Evergreen.
And a key Republican announces he won't run for re-election.
And 2 students continue to recover after a school shooting in LA this morning. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Charlie Nelson.
And I'm Casey Shainline. Welcome to Murrow News 8. The Student Media Board decided to leave the fate of the Daily Evergreen in the hands of the students. Brooke Wolford is at the Evergreen to explain the decisions students will make.
Well, the Student Media Board approved a couple of options. They could cut a day from production, or they could downsize to a tabloid format, which would make the paper 30% smaller. From the Daily Evergreen, I'm Brooke Wolford.
What would happen if the...
That's right, Casey. Students will have the option.
WSU violence prevention programs like Green Dot are facing hard times with lower funding and reduced staff. But ASWSU has a plan. Vice President Garrett Kalt and President Jordan Frost are making an effort to get a WSU Foundation endowment to keep violence prevention programs alive. Kalt believes it's important for all Cougs to feel safe on campus.
The number of wolves in the Profanity Peak Pack continue to fall, but when Dr. Robert Wilga spoke out against Fish and Wildlife regarding the killing of these wolves, it resulted in his losing his research funding until WSU clears his name. But Executive Director of Animal Rights Group, Predator Defense, Brooks Fay, believes the university made a mistake.
What has happened to him is outrageous. And Washington State University should be ashamed for what they've done. They've hurt his career. They've essentially ended his field research career.
It remains unclear whether WSU will clear Dr. Wilgas and restore his research funding. Brooks Fay is hopeful that the movie Profanity Peak Pack, set up and sold out, will help.
A Hated man caught with over 20,000 images of child pornography learned he will be spending up to 23 years in prison. Jason McGovern is a registered sex offender who targeted preteen girls and convinced them to send him photos over the internet. District Judge Cynthia Meyer called McGovern a monster.
We told you earlier this week about longtime Whitman County Judge Doug Robinson announcing his retirement. In response, 3 men have announced their candidacy for the position, including Pullman attorney and local pro tem Judge Rob Rembert. He faces competition from Whitman County Chief Deputy Prosecutor Dan LeBeau, as well as local attorney and municipal court judge John Hart. The Idaho National Guard hosted its first ever open house. Food and games offered an inviting atmosphere for citizens to learn about what the National Guard does. Casey explains the duties of the Guard and how it impacts citizens.
Army vehicles on display at the Idaho Open House attracted the attention of many. Members of the Guard answered questions about their equipment and explained what they use it for.
Really just here to show the community where we are, where our presence comes from, and kind of just incorporate them to what we do from day to day and show them the kind of cool stuff that we get to do from time to time.
One of the responsibilities of the National Guard involves dangerous weaponry, and members of the public have a chance to ask about those weapons at this open house.
No doubt, one of the main attractions of this event has been this rig right here, an M2A3 Bradley fighting vehicle that the Idaho National Guard has been giving tours of to the community.
Members of the Guard graciously showed everyone there around the vehicle and explained its features in hopes of sparking interest.
I wanted the community to know what their sons and their daughters or their mothers and their fathers were doing when they come drill for that 1 weekend a month.
Sergeant Coons hopes more people come to their future events.
Even if it was just one, to me, that's still a win.
One thing I think we should incorporate is bringing more kids here, high school age kids, to really show them what this can do for their future, like it did with mine.
Casey Shaneline, Murrow News 8.
When we come back, find out which congressman announced that he won't run for re-election.
And 2 students continue to recover from a shooting in LA. Murrow News 8 will be back after this.
Mom, can we get some ice cream?
Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Dad's home.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
An LA school is reeling after a 12-year-old female student allegedly shot 2 of her schoolmates. Doctors listed one male victim as being in critical condition after receiving a bullet wound to the head in a shooting at Castro Middle School. A 15-year-old girl was also shot in the wrist. 3 others at the school, including a woman and 2 other children, had minor injuries, but police say that they have the suspect in custody and are currently investigating what motivated the young girl to carry out the shooting.
President Trump reportedly asked Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein if he was, quote, on his team in a December meeting regarding Robert Mueller's investigation into the Trump campaign ties with Russia. This comes on the heels of reports that Trump tried to get Mueller fired last June in an attempt to halt the Russia investigation.
FBI Director Christopher Wray announced yesterday that grave concerns exist over the contents of the so-called Nunes memo that Republicans say shows evidence of misconduct by the FBI. Ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee Adam Schiff sees the memo as a partisan effort to discredit Mueller's team and the Russia investigation as a whole.
This is not about the facts. This is about a narrative that the chairman wants to put out, a misleading narrative to undermine the FBI, undermine the department, and ultimately undermine Bob Mueller.
After his State of the Union address, reporters overheard Trump saying that he fully intends to allow the release of the memo despite heavy opposition from Democrats.
House Oversight Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy says he is not running for re-election in 2018 and plans to leave politics behind. In an issued statement yesterday, the former federal prosecutor said he intends to return to working in the justice system after retiring from Congress at the end of this term. This makes Gowdy the 36th House Republican to announce retirement ahead of the 2018 midterm elections. Great news for people looking to stay in the United States, as a little under 7,000 Syrians received permission to live in the U.S. for 18 more months. With the conflict in Syria still raging, the Trump administration realized the need for an extension to protect these immigrants. However, the extension only applies to Syrians who arrived in the U.S. before August of 2016.
Director for the Center of Disease Control and Prevention resigned yesterday following reports of her trading in tobacco company stocks. Brenda Fitzgerald reportedly bought shares in a tobacco company in July, just 1 month after starting in her position. The documents suggest a conflict of interest between her investments and the CDC's efforts to persuade people to stop smoking.
When we come back, we'll tell you what weather to expect this weekend.
And we tell you why you should wear red tomorrow, even though Valentine's Day is still 2 weeks away. Stay tuned.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
No more pencils, no more books.
No more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out! summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
January certainly was a good amount warmer this year than last, and as we break into February, the trend looks about the same. Matt Money joins us now with the full forecast. What is coming our way, Matt?
Well, if you think back to about a year ago at this time, we were scraping ice from our cars. We had all kinds of snow everywhere, but that just certainly isn't the case as we're getting into February. Today in Pullman, we had, well, not too bad of weather, as we had a good amount of sunshine this afternoon. That, of course, turned to clouds by the evening, got up to 42 degrees today, and the clouds rolled in late afternoon. As we get into tomorrow morning, that's when you're going to get a little more rain in your commute to work, or if you're walking to class. We've got rain tomorrow morning through the afternoon, and you can expect a high tomorrow afternoon right around 50. So we're not quite breaking those records yet, but we are getting certainly very close. As we check the state map this afternoon, Spokane and Pullman about the same today as we had clouds and we were in the low 40s. Wenatchee got pretty lucky though. They got sunshine, and then Yakima, they had some cloudy skies today. But Western Washington, boy, they got wet this afternoon. They had rain showers all day long. Kind of the thing they're seeing in Western Washington as we speak is they're in the middle 40s, and they're not really breaking away from that much. They are kind of sticking there for the highs and the lows. And let's get into your 5-day forecast. For the weekend, looks like we're going to have a lot of rain. So if you're planning on having maybe some sort of a party this weekend, you're going to want to take it inside. Got rain both Saturday and Sunday. Monday, that's when the clouds return, except no rain. It's going to be kind of a mild start to the week. And we've got temperatures, as you can see, in the upper 40s. We're actually going to get close, not quite, but close to breaking a record on Wednesday with our high right around 56. I'm Matt Money, and that is your Murrow News 8 forecast. Back to Casey and Charlie at the desk.
Thanks, Matt. When we come back, we're going to find out why you want to wear red this weekend. Stay tuned.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
You might see women wearing more red than usual tomorrow because tomorrow is the National Heart Association's Wear Red Day. While the dress is merely symbolic, it raises awareness about heart disease, which is the leading cause of death for women in the U.S. Some ways women can prevent heart disease are through a diet with fruits and vegetables, limited alcohol intake, and getting a fair amount of exercise each day. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention suggests adults get about 2 hours and 30 minutes of exercise each week.
Well, I don't know if I'm getting enough exercise, but I definitely think I can wear red tomorrow. What about you, Matt?
Well, I'm thinking about switching up the tie, maybe go with red.
I think that's good. Thank you for watching. Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 p.m. for Pullman's only nightly newscast.
Have a great night, and don't forget to follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Good night, Pullman.